you're all safe and sound at home. Welcome to the 13th episode of Design Hack Podcast. Today, I would like to start off with a quote by Paula Shaw, who said, "The goal of design is to raise the expectation of what design can be." And we experience it live today as I welcome Laxman Shivashankar, who is currently working as a UX design manager at Capegemini. He has had over 20 plus years of experience in this field, and I cannot wait further to dive deep into what wisdom he has to offer us today. Hi Lakshman, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you. Welcome to Design Hat Podcast, and I'm so excited to know more about you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And you guys are really doing good. So, I have watched your videos. Most of the youngsters, entrepreneurs, they're expressing their ideas, and it's really good, very interesting. And thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. I would like to start off with you introducing yourself with the story of why design and how design.
Why design and how design? Uh, why design in the sense like as you, if you take millions of years back. Through design itself, the evolution started, right? So if you say go back to the caveman, there were no scripts, there was no language. Only we can see the remains where how these people have carved or drawing, whatever, through they express their feelings. So these are the things which help me something which creatively I can do better. So I was searching for where some because in those days I'm talking about 18 plus years back. So when there was no career counseling and what to do, but design exists at that time. From the product designs were there, architecture designs were there, but only at one stage. But not, to choose like there were drawing schools were there, but not to take as very seriously as a career path. So somehow I land up in an agency, ad agency, broadcast media. That is my, I can say, my birthplace, I can say. So where I was taught 3D animation and graphics. So I learned when I was working there as a data entry operator. I used to do data entry. So earlier. So that's how it sort of an interest started. And over the period of time, I joined an IT organization where we used to do CBTs, CD-based training for kids, especially develop CD-ROMs in those days, like education purpose. So that's how it started, and that's how I started my journey in this. And it's very interesting. It's going good, and finally, and ended up with the user experience part of it.
That's really interesting, and especially from as a data entry operator to design, that's really something good. I would like to having 18 plus over years. Could you help the audience traverse of what changes this industry has experienced over such a huge period of time?
Absolutely, yes. See, I have seen the how this user experience is a very coined term in recent maybe 8, 10 years. I think more than less than that, I think. So when we started, it was only a graphic design. Okay. So we used to just do design as per our boss requirement. When I need to please my boss, and I used to design something which red, yellow, popping up buttons, 3D buttons. And there was no purpose like why we are doing this because we wanted to do a design. There was no method, there was no thought behind our designs, and we just started like that. And over a period of time, then we heard term called usability. Before that, when I was a trainee in an organization like HMT, I was working in HMT as a trainee in the data entry department where I used to notice there were a lot of data entry works were there, but first of all, it is a privilege to be in a computer. Okay, it's a great privilege if you're working in a computer. It's a prestige in those days, like I'm working in a computer department or something like that. So even though I was working on that department, I used to enter data. There were a lot of repetition every day I used to do. That means same data when I raise the question, it looks like they're testing, somebody will test your ability. That means you are not fit for this job. It was not user-centric or something user-friendly those days. So slowly, the usability got introduced after over a period of time, and then slowly it turns into user experience. So user experience, if you look, um, it has influence with the various industries or various fields, especially psychology. If you see psychology, I mean, that field of psychology has contributed a lot to our user experience now. So over a period of time, there was nothing like usability, just a human-computer interaction. That's what we used to call. And there was no formal training as such for us. We used to just learn. Somebody used to visit our office, and somebody used to take a what do you call guide as a presentation. Through presentation, we used to introduce the purpose of design. That design makes sense to the user, and you do the design. Who is going to use that? So this knowledge was given to us later period of the time. So, and then what happened when we see this user experience, how it got influenced with the various different fields. For example, like if you say cognitive psychology, okay, then social psychology maybe what are the activities, mind mapping, it could be mind mapping or research. All these things we have taken from field of psychology. And other things like library science, if you see library science, information management and that is called information architecture later we came up with. And from the animation and the film industry, storyboarding. Okay, storyboarding, it was there much earlier, we adopted that. So this user experience is getting stronger and stronger day by day. And now we have landed up in such a way that data science is influencing us. So we are depending on the data science. So now the user experience is something it's going in all directions actually, and it is something which is very interesting to people who want to pursue this.
That's actually nice, and I liked how you interconnected psychology to design, because psychology actually does have a big role to play in design.
Yeah,
We talk about color theory, be it typography, be it icons. I don't know, everything. How we imagine it, how we experience it. It's actually psychology.
yeah, absolutely. When we got formally trained in user experience, uh, then we were introduced to all these things, and we were amazed to see that's the balance. It's a mix of art and science. The art and science they have mixed it. So it's very interesting actually.
That's nice. That's a nice thing you said there. That it's a mixture of art and science. That's a
Yeah.
really nice way to define. I would like to I would like to further know about some of the challenges that you face in the current industry that you are in, the IT consulting industry.
Yeah, see, I'm having experience only in the IT services, especially so IT consulting. So, as a generic, I'm going to tell that what are the challenges which what industry is facing today, and the UX opportunity are more enormous. I can say that there's no depth of opportunities. The only problem in this big organizations is there is no maturity model. They haven't adopted the maturity model. So what is happening? Because everybody wants to showcase the UX to the clients. They're spending money on the experience centers, which is good, which is required. But at the same time, they need to brand themselves inside the organization, because the person who is at the client side, who bring business, if the person doesn't understand what exactly the user experience, and there is something which we are going to lose, the business. Okay, so not just that. So like what I meant to say that even today the user experience means visual design. People think it's a visual design. Okay, that is something which we need to break. So these challenges, like how to educate them, I mean, basically how to educate them. That is something is a big challenge. The reason is the majority in the software industry are from the development background and other domains, and the user experience may be 10%, less than 10%. Okay, so then usually what happens, the user experience is something it will be pulled over in case they need a design. Okay, in most of the organization. So the organization, what I have heard, what I have seen. So good that the organization where I work, it is something which is very methodology. I mean, we need to be practicing, ensure that from the day one, the user experience is considered. Okay. So these industries, especially in IT, if it is a product industry, there is no issue because
Right.
principally they do because they have to do the user experience. But since the IT services, they need to run business, okay, they need to generate revenue. The user experience is something a filler till now. So that this needs to be changed. So this is the biggest challenge what we are having. And one more thing, the the actually the people who won't, especially the youngsters who join such organization, they don't stick for a long time. The reason why they're not going to stick for a long time because they have formally trained in the colleges or whichever the big institution, taking the design as their course. In their course they have studied about research, okay, testing, but when they want to put in practice, they don't get an opportunity in such organizations. So when they don't get an opportunity, obviously they need to look for another organization. So and that means they are the maturity model in the sense they are not having a right framework, design framework. Design process is not there. Just just to do some design, they will end up with that. So I think this change is something which is required, and it is very much required for UX in order to make it. I mean, we need to brand basically this thing.
That is nice, actually. I didn't know that how the gap between the the education and the user experience design in IT industries, but that's something pretty interesting. And how do you think can we tackle this problem of uh, uh,
Filling this gap.
filling this gap exactly?
Yeah, see, that is actually it lies the person who is going to lead the UX. So the only thing is we need to ensure that we need to build champions. We need to build champions in each, say for example, in the sales, it's an account team or sales team. We need to introduce them about the user experience. They don't need to be master in this area. At least they need to understand what is the process to come to a design conclusion. What are the activities they need to do? So they can budget for it, or they can have some time frame for it. Okay, we allocate some time for it. So it is not just a design. Okay, because in software development life cycle, if you see in the agile world we are in,
Yes.
actually the user experience something which now it has been what do you call, it has been shrinked a bit. It should be like it's a study basically you need to do from the start. Okay, and if it is client driven, the user sometimes the user experience will be driven from the client who is aware of user experience. Okay, what it is in those clients, definitely the demand for it. But sometimes the clients who are not aware of user experience,
Right.
probably they depend on those organizations where they don't practice complete user experience. So I think the job of the person who is leading need to educate every single person, like building their champions, and I mean that is how we can uh, bridge the gap.
That's a nice point out, I think, because it's the leaders who show the world the path, I think, somewhere.
Correct, correct, correct.
I would want to know that you've traveled overseas for work. So I would want to know that, what are the kind of projects you undertook? What was your role in them?
Great question. I'm really thankful for all the previous organization and the current organization because traveling is something which is very important for a user experience back. So I actually I recommend there should be a mandatory travel for all individuals to go around the world because India is I mean we are the best in software, right? So we have that actually. We can leverage that opportunity, and I think every person should travel. But I don't know, in this pandemic situation, it is not happening. That is a different story. But uh, everybody should travel. So I think I'm very lucky enough. I traveled different countries and I did a lot of research. One is research. The roles what I took is one is research activity, and I had an interaction with the my customers, I mean, my clients' customers, uh, understanding their mental model and discussing with them and observation. Basically, observation is very important. I just want to share one incident where this was for insurance industry. We were developing a product, and I was in Belgium. So in this organization, that's a very big insurance company where I was observing that all this, it's a claim processing division where they were having only the numlock pad. That is a you know how the keyboard, right? There is a
Yes.
numeric keyboard. It was separated numeric keypad. Okay, I was observing these people were entering only the numeric data, and they were shifting to the main keyboard. So I observed and asked the question why these people are going back and coming. They said uh, in between the 10 character or something numeric, in between there is an alphabet. Okay, so they need to enter the alphabet and they need to come back. My next question to that, whether this alphabetic letter will change rapid or it is no, there is one maybe n x whatever that number that won't change. Then I check with my developer, can you replace that with the dot, that period what we have in this. So user don't need to shift. Okay, just try so that you replace that dot, whatever that period, with this character. And then there no need to go back. It might save a millisecond or a second, but definitely it helps. And it was well appreciated. The reason why I'm telling, when you are having an interaction with the users, the observation is also very much important. So there are many incidents like that, many which I traveled and uh, I mean, we prepared a research report, and sometimes we go and attend workshops, and we do conduct focus groups there. So I was doing all this activity. Most of them I worked in the insurance part and automobile also. So that's how I used to travel, and sometimes I used to we can see these travels are maybe for a 10 days max or a week. So within most of the business travels, and a couple of was long term basically. But this business travel, whenever we go, we try to ensure that we try to give them an experience. So whatever they have, we'll translate that whatever they are telling. And then we showcase them. This is what your final product would be. So that was something which was I used to do.
Would you like us to actually take us through some of the difficulties you faced and how you overcome those? Uh,
Sorry, can you repeat? I didn't get that.
yes, I'm saying that would you like to take us through any difficulty that you faced and how you overcome that?
Yeah, yeah. Especially in Taiwan, the language problems, right? Especially. So anyway, design has no language. That is why it is. That's why we are here. So I had this. One of the automobile company has invited us for to participate in the workshop, and we were there. And I took some time and visited the showrooms, especially their showrooms, and try to understand what is their product all about. And these guys don't speak English. So most of them don't speak English in the showrooms, and I had a very tough time to. And what I did is something. I created scribble pads, whatever we usually do, a quick wireframe, quick and dirty job what we do. So I just showed them the storyboarding. Actually, this is what I do. This is what my career is about. And when I did that, the guy understood that, and he was adding something to it. And finally, till somebody entered and they tried to communicate, help as a translator, they worked as translator. But till that time, most of the job was done. So sometimes what happens, this scribbling, whatever we do, it may be quick and dirty job that will definitely help. So, I mean, that is one thing which I can remember immediately. What the challenge I faced that.
And I think you actually dealt with it like a designer, like on spot. You were very quick to think of that and come up with that.
Yeah, see, I mean, that is the human tendency when you want something, right? when you want something, you try to do enact or something you try to do, right? So you try to maybe just play around, enact something. If you
Try
say, I
to,
need a
yeah.
water, yeah, same thing
That's
is similar.
interesting. Yeah. I want to know actually that what has driven you so far in this industry. How do you keep yourself going?
That's a good question. Uh, See, I'm very passionate about the user experience, actually. That's how I never thought about as a user experience because those days we just joined because we wanted to do some design. Okay. So over a period of time when we started the learning so many things. So I mean every day is new for us. Every opportunity, every problem statement it comes, no, it helps us to I mean think a lot. Okay. That is one of the driving force. And other thing is the team what we are having, especially the youngsters from new school of thoughts. Okay, especially these guys, know they bring a lot of good ideas actually. And the user experience is something. It's not a single person's work. It's a teamwork. So if one person does a research, the other person will do an analysis, and some person. It's a total teamwork. So when we are doing a teamwork, obviously each one of us will inspire others, right? So that is the beauty about our profession. So that is something it's driving me, and it's I'm learning many things from these youngsters who come to, because these people, especially, they are well versed in apps and gadgets. Okay, and sometimes I sit with them and try to understand what exactly you guys are doing. What is that? How we can do this? And they will try to help us. Like, this is what we want to do. We need to respect their ideas also. So that is something which is inspiring me every day, and that is driving me, I can say.
That is actually nice, and I think very less people and very less experienced people, I would say, appreciate the ideas that youngsters bring, and so I think it's really refreshing to see an experienced man like yourself to actually stay motivated and learn even from youngsters.
Absolutely. See, if you're an user experience professional, every day you need to learn. Okay, it is not just from our profession, or you can learn from a kid. Okay, you can learn from somebody. I mean, you should be open for ideas. You cannot be in a position and separate yourself and try to do like, okay, I'm not. You do this, you do that. Dictating terms doesn't help me to grow. The growth in the sense, not in the form of a position, in a form of a knowledge. Okay,
Correct.
you should
As a
if you want
person.
to. Yes, if you want to grow, it will be measured in terms of knowledge. Okay. How you going to learn? Only through if you interact and you keep your team or surroundings like whatever you see, you try to adapt those things. So, and everybody has to do that if you are in this profession. I don't know about others, but I practice this actually.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice quality to have, because I have seen, and I think every youngster has faced such situations where we've been told to shut up, or we've been told to listen to our elders, or not give our opinions because someone is more experienced than other. So a very experimental friendly environment is essential for youngsters to actually grow in this area, because where ideas are not appreciated, I think there we're not able to experience and grow proficiently.
Yeah. See, usually uh, everybody has undergone this, right? So even I have faced those
Yeah,
problems. So I don't want that to be repeated, not to be stereotyped. Okay. So people should ask questions. I encourage people to ask question. If you ask question, even a dumb question, right? It is
right.
very strong. It is very strong. It will. The only thing, even I also restrict my people to not to do certain things only when it comes to uh, sort of a client interaction. So we used to tell only, okay, don't interact like this, or don't send an email. So these get email etiquettes basically. Those
Right.
things definitely I interrupt and I try to. But when it comes to user experience, when it comes to ideas, definitely we want ideas. We want ideas and any project for that matter. If five people are working in different five projects, and we will gather in one and try to solve another person's problem, whatever. I mean, this is usually I keep interacting with my team members, and I mean, this is a good practice. I think everybody's. I mean, they're doing. I think but they should do because everybody has to learn from the mistakes. Even when I interview somebody for the for any openings, my first thing I ask is, you tell me. I mean, for the experienced guys, usually I ask, just tell me how I mean, how you screwed up any jobs first. What are the disaster in your life? You just explain me what the mistake you did and how you overcome it. Because that will tell the person's ability, how he has come up with that, how whether he has the capability to switch back or something. That I through that we can assess the person. I mean, mistakes everybody does. So I mean that we need to as a senior person we need to monitor them, manage them instead of questioning them or preventing things not to do anything like that.
Wow,
I mean,
that
it's my way of working. I don't know whether it is right or wrong, but this is how I practice.
that's a really that's a really nice point you put out there, that instead of preventing them, you actually manage them, or you actually make them learn, because
You
preventing or making restrictions only bind people, or only set limitations to what, to the potential a person has.
you can check with my team after this call whether whether I think you can get some good answers. I'm sure that actually.
That's nice. Yeah, I would actually now want to know about some of the other hobbies that you're involved in outside of work, and yeah.
I'm an actor basically.
Wow.
My other yeah, because if you go and Google my name, it won't show you as a UX professional. It shows you as an actor. So I have acted in around five, six movies. Three movies leading, not as a it's a different sort of a contemporary movies, and I do lyrics. Okay, I pen songs, many things I have done, and story. I have written a story for a movie. And interesting thing I want to tell you, writing the story for a movie and dialogues was not is a new experience for me. So how the user experience has helped me, I'll tell you. What I did my brother is a film director actually, so he has given me even my full family. My father is almost 40, 50 years he served in the film industry. So now he's not active much, but has won a couple of awards also. So that background we have, and what I did is a small storyline which we discussed, and I elaborated that, created a lot of persona, the character. So if it is a character, then I created a persona. What is whether it will be in the scene or not, but the entire the character, what whether likes or dislikes, what is the nature, everything I have done before I start the dialogues or story. That has really helped us.
Wow, that's such a new point, and such a new thing to discover about you, and it's very fascinating how you've managed to discover so many things. And yeah, how do you
Yes.
actually manage your time?
I was anticipating this question actually. Yes, because the most of the people who are passionate about films also they are almost from the IT industry. Okay, uh, yeah,
Oh,
in my group.
okay,
Okay,
all right.
so usually they try to. We used to do a lot of Saturday, Sunday. What we used to have? We used to dedicate those 2 days for movie making. So that is how we started this activity. And my brother took it as a profession very seriously and used to call me sometimes. I used to go and act, even I would demand for a weekend only because I can. And my current company, is also encouraged me on this because my executive vice president actually, he, in fact, there was one meeting going on in the break. He invited me and asked me to project the trailer with all the guests over there. And he said, this guy is doing this activity. And the good thing, this coffee table book, what we have at the office, is I'm featured in that actually. And the organization will encourage all the qualities or maybe the activities what they do out of the organization. They are encouraging that also. That's a good thing about.
Wow, that's something really nice. Actually, now I'm more than curious to know that how would you define yourself? Who is Lakshman to you? How would you define yourself? Who is Lakshman to you?
Who am I is a spiritual question actually. Okay. Uh, Basically, I'm a storyteller. I can say that. I'm a storyteller. I like to share my experience with everyone, and I like to hear from others also, and try to adapt things, and adapt those things in my life, whatever it is, their experiences. Um, I'm also thinker. I can say I always keep looking the surroundings. Is there anything that I can do much better than that? Um, yeah, this something I don't know whether I'm creative or not, but at least I keep involving in so many things myself.
I think you're definitely creative. There's no doubt there.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, that's really nice. I would like to know, that everyone keeps saying that technology is everything. But what relevance would you give to user experience or design as an industry which is contributing to the entire ecosystem?
That's a beautiful question. See, whenever the clients come to us, so we try to focus them through technologies, right? So this technology we have used that, but what solution we have given? That is something which is missing. So I keep telling my people like, don't focus on how to do, what to do. That is important. Okay. So if you know what to do today, no matter whatever the technology that comes, right? So we are leveraging this technology, of course. It could be yeah, artificial intelligence, or it could be face recognition, it could be voice recognition, predictive analysis, whatever it is. But still, what to do is important. Okay, so I don't think uh, whatever whatever comes in future, also the user experience may little change something is shape, but still the user experience is required. So, irrespective of technology change or technology is influencing whatever, but the user experience is something which is very important. I just give one example. There was one response which we were supposed to give for a client. I traveled to Hong Kong. We called orals. When we orals is something which we want to present our response to their proposal. We propose something. So so what I did on my part, though it was not a ask, so I created some screens. I requested one of the developer, especially it was an iOS application. So I asked them, why don't you stitch those screens? Don't code it, at least make a hotspot. I can just traverse to the screen. So he prepared 4 to 5 screens she prepared, and I took with me. And when we were having this discussion, the people were talking technology and the entire audience 75% from the business, and they didn't understood what exactly is happening. Okay, and they were quiet. So why I'm telling this, because they wanted to see something when the entire the presentation was going on. In between, my part came, and I presented, this is what your business and how we can improve your business. And I just depicted that through this design. So everybody was very happy. And this, they were traversing the screen and they said, yeah, yeah, this is what we are looking. It's pretty straightforward, right? Because technology is hidden always. Technology is hidden because for the user, it doesn't require what is going on background. Of course, technology, without technology, nothing is possible. But what I'm saying is, this is something which is user experience is, it is a frontliner actually. It will showcase what exactly what you're going to achieve end of the day. That is what which we are, that is what experience design we generally do when people walk into our office. We try to showcase them within 2 3 hours. We try to design something and showcase this is what it's going to be. May not be 100%, but at least they can understand. Oh yeah, we are in a right place. So this is how the user experience. I don't think irrespective of any technology or whatever comes in future, definitely the user experience will remain and in a different way. I think it's a different shape it will be in.
Yeah, I think as you say, I realize that technology is only the medium, but how we use it, how we leverage it, as you said, is up to the the user experience design part.
Correct, correct. That's what. See, what has happened is this pandemic has transformed the entire thing. So digital transformation truly happened during this pandemic only, right? So people were struggling to get digital transformation. They were forced to take this step. So especially in this scenario, the user experience played a major role, especially collaboration. So many tools came.
Mhm.
So there is no that I'm from Bangalore. So like Bangalore is a IT hub or something, right? So now is no more because we are all working in different places, right? We
Right.
are connected well, collaboration, we are doing collaboration and other stuff. So I don't think uh, that is something that this technology, the whatever the ecosystem they have built for this, that is definitely helping us to uh, coming up with new ideas with the collaboration. So it's a wonderful thing has happened for the especially for the UX in this pandemic situation.
That's actually nice. I would, want to ask you that what future do you see of user experience design, and especially in terms of India as an industry, as an evolving industry, or should I say?
See, user experience, as I said, it's getting influenced with a different industry. Earlier, I said. So it's especially the going further, um, something like I can say somebody will take a decision on behalf of you, and that will be a right decision. Suppose you want to take something, right? You want to purchase or something. It is happening currently, but I'm telling in Indian context. So somebody will make decision on behalf of you, and that will be the right decision. So I can say very simple in simple that is what I'm expecting that the industry will go in that direction, and especially the predictions, what the predictive analysis is becoming very stronger. And in these 2 years, whatever every single individual has left their footprints, okay, their interaction, behavior, everything. And it is data is there. You need to do the unstructured data to be structured and do a lot of analysis in so you will be knowing what exactly they're looking for. So right from street vendors who are not suppose I mean they are not using they are part of your user community, and students, small kids, they are part of user community. The user profile was started with some age 18 plus, 19 plus. No,
Right.
now things have changed. So this is something which I have noticed. What is the changes happening, and yeah, in simple language, whatever I said, I think that is somebody will take decision on behalf of you, and that will be the right decision.
That's a really strong statement right there. But yeah, I think I would somewhere agree with it.
Yeah.
I would want to, come up. I would want to finish or end the podcast with the last question, which is, what is that one advice you would like to give to all the budding designers out there?
Uh, Budding designers, I mean, focus on the solution part of it. So don't try to design immediate. See, the problem I have noticed, whatever with this people is the moment something is assigned, immediately they will start designing, right? So instead of that, you think, as I rightly said earlier, like what to do. That is very important. So, see, think about that. Why you are doing this? What is the purpose of doing this? So that is something it should come. If they say I'm just a visual designer, I just wait for the wireframes and then I'll know. No, you should be part of everything. There are various disciplines in user experience, and you need to learn everything. Master any one of this, I agree. But at least you try to what do you call?
Indulge yourself in.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And but the one more wish I have is something like this user experience should start from the early school level. Okay. That is something I think the present government has done the new education policy for skill development. If this is user experience is part of it, okay, so then children will know about the design. Okay, then just imagine the society, how the society will change. If you look at a convention center, you won't feel anything like there are several steps. Okay, you don't even realize, okay, what's happening. But if the specially able person thinks how to reach there, his thinking is different from your thinking. So if you want to come to that common thinking, you should have that education
Very
from the
true.
school level, from
Right.
school level. And even not just you should be introduced to Braille, you should be introduced to the sign languages, okay, so that you can also communicate with those people. Okay, that is something you should come at the school level. If that comes at the school level, not everybody will become user experience professionals because we all studied biology. It doesn't mean that we are all doctors, right? So we know what are the organs in living beings, non-living beings. We learned this, but at least they will know that the user experience. They will influence their parents who are in a different profession, who are in a different decision making. So at least they can think over what are the design flaws. So I mean, my wish if somebody takes that responsibility as something. Uh, Try to uh, introduce that in that level. And one more thing I want to encourage as an advice for the upcoming budding people is do social experiments. Social experiments are really important. Keep doing social experiments. So that definitely help. So understand the people, to understand the mental model, because design is not limited to humans. It has gone to pets also. Okay, even pets, especially the cats and dogs, there are certain things which they can feed cats and dogs timely based on some sort of technology, or maybe even that is happening. So social experimenting will allow you to explore more. That is something in we need to learn out of it. And they can become, I mean, they will contribute a lot when they come to the project. So that is something which I recommend or expect these people to start doing this.
Yeah, and I think it's very important to introduce such topics from the basic school level so that people start
Mhm.
differentiating between design and art. Because a lot of times, school students, whenever if I'm talking to my brother, my 10th class brother, and I'm telling him that I'm in design or I'm interested in design, he would consider me as an art person or someone who draws or sketches. Uh,
Correct. See, if you take ancient India, right? Ancient India, there was no paper or something, right? Only the sculptures, whatever. If you go back, if you see any of this, if you visit any Konark temple or Hampi or whatever, you can see each section stories they have depicted them the entire Ramayana or Mahabharata anything. The reason was to to explain for the next generation. That was the medium they have chosen, right? So design is not new for us. Design has been pretty old. Okay, I mean we are not focused. Even in our school days, if you're drawing right, our parents used to say, "Don't waste time, go and study." Right? Remember,
and
so this drawing is something, whatever it is, something is considered as something. I mean, it was not taken seriously. Okay, though we are having a good design background, our ancient. In fact, I have written one blog on this. User experience is not a recent thought; it's an ancient thought. Okay, I mean it's there actually in our culture. So we need to focus towards that actually. That is the reason they need to introduce at this level, school level.
that is nice, actually. And yeah, you're right. Just that we didn't used to, actually name it as user experience then, and now we've made more specific. Doesn't mean that it didn't exist then. It surely
Yeah,
did.
absolutely.
I think thank you so much, Lakshman, for being here with us. It has really been so fascinating, discovering about you, knowing about you, and especially that actor part really got to me because I think you're the first designer that I've met who has such vast areas of interest. But it's really fascinating, and I think we need more such voices to come up and encourage our budding designers. So, to all the listeners out there, do check out Lakshman's socials in the description below. And yeah, we will miss you until next time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.